So many young people are telling us that Gen Z do want to fight for their country, but it's a case of computer says no. After we shared John's story, the teenager who told us that army officers encouraged him to sign up, but he was rejected 3 times, 20-year-old Lewis Jackson got in touch.
I've seen in the news that, a lot of young people, the Gen Z, they're not willing to fight for their country. I think it's completely opposite case. I think they're not being given the chance, and I think it's not being reported on until I saw you guys talking about it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'd like to talk about that.
Lewis was rejected from the army for an eye condition that was corrected when he was 3 years old, and says he hasn't spoken to a human being throughout his application and appeals process.
Throughout the whole process, I've had, no one kind of rings you up. They'll just shut down your complete application, and you'll just be logged out completely. You can't even log back in. It's quite hard when I know that I can see, and I know that I can see well, and I have no struggles in my day-to-day life.
His great-great-great-grandfather, Lance Corporal Richard Jackson, who had the same eye condition, was awarded a medal for conspicuous gallantry during World War I. Lewis says his family has served in the Coldstream Guards since the 18th century. The bottom line for him is this:
I would just like to fight for my king and country, but I've failed before I've had the chance to fail.
Over the last 2 years, he's appealed 4 or 5 times now. He's also spent 150 quid on eyesight tests required to prove his vision. Lewis shared with us the message he received on the online portal run by Capita, explaining why he was rejected, which acknowledges that his aided vision is within entry standards, but that it's his corrective surgery for the condition he was born with, which was then fixed, that rules him out. We told the MOD and Capita about Lewis's case and asked if any of the current rules on eyesight are under review. The MOD told us that every application is considered on a case-by-case basis by specialist clinicians, but they were unable to comment specifically on Lewis's case. However, we understand that there is something called an executive waiver. It's for exceptional circumstances where the service you're trying to join recruits someone who does not meet existing entry standards, but it's on a case-by-case basis and they have to make it on your behalf. So, what are your thoughts? Please comment below.